Hi, welcome to Easy or Else. I came up with this as a way to use up all those scrap balls that I had left from projects. There's lots of Lego blanket tutorials, but they're usually done with single blocks. Instead, I made them in long strips with a background base and then just put those strips together. But you can see how I just randomly put them together depending on the size of the scrap I had. And this blanket only uses 3 stitches, a single crochet, a half double crochet for that background color, and then the bobble stitch to create those Lego blocks. The border, I just did a row of half double crochet. So let's do this. I used 1 solid for the base, and then gather your scraps that have a similar weight. Although you can use the lighter weight colors, I found that if I had the right color, I ended up unwinding this and then just winding it again double. And then when I put them together, it worked out just fine. The basic block is just a pattern of 9 across, 2 rows single crochet, 1 with bobbles, 2 rows single crochet. I'll also show you the math to make the single long strips. So to begin, you're going to chain 10, and you're going to start for row 1, you're going to go right back, second chain from the hook, and do a row of single crochet all the way across. Remember that foundation row of your chain is not considered a row, because you'll need 2 rows of single crochet before we do the bobble stitch row. So we're just going across, and these went really fast. Once you have the numbers in your head, you'll just have it memorized. So we've gone across all the way. There's 9. And for me, I did not chain 1. I just turned and single crocheted in the very first stitch instead of chaining 1 and skipping. I don't chain 1 here, and I single crochet in this very first stitch right here for my second row of single crochet. Made a tighter edge. Now I'm just going to go back across. Okay, I'm to the other side. I'm on my last stitch, and there's just a little bump in there. You'll get to know where that is. You can see it right here. I noticed that if I did a chain 1 and then started, I had little bumps on the side, and I just didn't like the look of that. Single crochet in that last stitch. You're just going to count, make sure you have 9. Turn your work. This is the row now that has the 2 bobble stitches, and it's a very easy number count to remember. You're going to single crochet again in the first 2 stitches, and here we're going to work a bobble stitch. So basically it's 2 single crochets, bobble stitch, 3 single crochets, bobble stitch, and 2. To do a bobble stitch, there are other videos. We can create a link to those, but let me just work one. In my case on this one, I just used a 4-turn bobble stitch where I went in, wrap over, in the stitch, yarn over, pull up, yarn over, pull through 2, and you're going to do that 4 times. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. You should have 5 loops on your hook. Now you're going to yarn over and pull through all 5. Snug that up a little bit. And to close that, you're just going to single crochet in the next stitch. Pull it tight together, and that's your first bobble. So that's your first single crochet. You're going to do 2 more. This gives a nice even gap in the middle between the 2 bobbles. And you're going to, in this 3rd space from the end, you're going to bobble stitch again. Yarn over, pull up, pull through 2. Do that 4 times. 2, 3, pull through all, single crochet in the next 2 to finish that row. Now you can see what it's starting to look like. Now if I was just making the one tiny block, I would do 2 more rows of single crochet and that one would be done. Turn your work, single crochet across. The only one on this row you have to be careful is as you come to the bobble, that one's easy to see. There's this wide one which is just on top of the bobble. It's the very next one that's really small that tends to get skipped over. So at first when you start, be sure to count and you'll be sure to get them all. That one right there. And you just go across. There we go. And that will close up that. You can turn your work and then 1 more row and that would be a complete single set bob. You could start changing color, or if you had enough yarn you would continue to make a bigger block. And that's all there is to it. 2 rows, a row of bobble stitch, 2 more rows. That's the basic block. If you're going to go bigger, here's one already done. If you're going to continue on to make the math work out, I don't want 4 rows in between the 2 bobbles because there would be 2 and 2. I just want 2, a row of bobbles, and then I have 3 single crochets, then back to bobbles, 2 rows. As you've come across your block and you're ready to change to your body color, you start that last single crochet, bring up your second color, pull it through, pull through, chain. Now as you turn, because obviously a blanket like this has a lot of color change and we know how we all love that, all the weaving in of the ends, what you can do is just weave in your ends as you go. So you're going to take these 2 strands, kind of pull them up behind, and on this blanket I did my body color in half double crochets. So I did the chain 1 to give it some height. So now I'm just going to hold, it's the hardest when you first get started. Yarn over, go in that first one, and that'll hold your colors together. Just tighten it up a little bit, and then you're going to let those just ride across the top. Pull it tight enough to where it's not sticking out, and then you're just going to half double right over top of them as you go across. And you can cut at the ends. It looks a little messy at first. Just let them set right along the top. I like the half double because it has a little denser, so it did tend to cover it. And that way you don't have ends to weave in at the end, since this does require a lot of color change in this blanket because you're using up all those scraps. So you're just going to half double all the way across. And you can cut those pieces off at whatever stage. There's plenty now underneath there. And it's your last half double in the end. And again, for my half doubles I chained 1, and you're going to turn. So like I said, your yarn is now hidden. You can continue with this color as big as you want that block, and when you're ready to start the next color, you just do the same thing. Before your last pull through, you change color. It's just important to remember that as you do your body color, you want to end on the right side, facing up, so that your bobble stitches, which are actually worked on the back, will pop up to the right side. And that's all it is. It's just making a whole lot of these strips and then putting them together with the top 6 single crochet. Now to achieve the effect on this one, because this is up and down, so this row is actually a long skinny row that I crocheted. So let me just do 1 stitch to show you again, the math, once you have it in your head, is very easy. You're going to chain 6, 3, 4, 5, because 5 is your basic block. Chain 1, single crochet back in the first stitch all the way across. Remember the chain row is not considered a row. So row 1 is the single crochet, and then row 2 single crochet all the way across. So there's your 5. Going to turn. This one is very easy to remember because it's just 2, a bobble stitch, and 2 single crochet back across. On my single crochets, I don't chain 1, I just start into the first. So here's my 2 rows now of single crochet. Turn my work. Now I'm back to the front, and all you're going to do for that single bobble stitch is single crochet 2, bobble stitches in the middle third, and then 2 more. So single crochet. So there's 2. This is where you do your bobble stitch. Remember, you do that 4 times, your yarn overs, or as many times as you wish. An extra time would just make a taller bobble. To close it up, single crochet, and then last single crochet for the row. And to finish this, what we would consider this block, it's just 2 more rows in the work. And this is all done in a long strip, so I didn't finish at a block. I just kept going with this pattern. I even changed colors, but they're all bobbles and single crochets. So I hope you enjoyed this project. If you have any questions, go ahead and add that in the comment section below. Thanks for watching.